Hello friends, welcome back to the shop. Today is Sunday, February 3rd, and it's still cold, but it's going to be warm this week. Bizarrely warm. It's going to get again up to close to 60 degrees. We've had, for the past 3 days when I've woken up in the morning, it's been below zero. Never more than like -5, -6 I think was the coldest. And next week, 60 degrees, all in Fahrenheit. Unbelievable. Anyway, I hope you're staying warm wherever you are, and unless you're too warm, and then I hope you're staying cool. Lot to talk about. First off, I need to get my pipe going here because I haven't packed it yet. I'm smoking this little Nirop, and I've got some Cornell and Deal Bijou, which I'm enjoying. I haven't smoked enough of it yet to really talk about it, like to give impressions or anything, but it's one of these typical Cornell and Deal sort of loose flakes, crumble flake, whatever you want to call that. Nice, predominantly Virginia. It's got some Oriental in it, I think. Again, I'm not really prepared to talk about it. I've just had 2 bowls so far, and this will be my 3rd, but I'm enjoying it. And I'll tell you, these little Nirop pipes, if you don't have one of these, I really highly recommend you get one of these pipes. You know, when I'm choosing a pipe, I have to always have in mind what tobacco am I going to be smoking. I don't spend a lot of time on it. It's not like I have to, think about it a lot. But I choose the pipe based on the tobacco that I'm smoking, and that's because there are some pipes that just seem to really like Burleys, and some pipes that really seem to like Virginias. There's certainly, I've got 1 or 2 pipes that I consider aromatic pipes, not because I'm worried about ghosting of other ones, but just because they behave well in those pipes. This little pipe is actually a jack of all trades. I can't tell you that it's better at Burleys or better at Virginias or anything. It's just, it smokes everything well. And I think if you told me, these things never happen, but if you told me that I had to just choose one pipe, this would probably be it, because I've smoked everything in this and nothing has ever disagreed with this pipe. So I highly recommend the Nirops. Let's get this Bijou going. And before I get into any other business, I'd like to do a few shout-outs. I'm trying to remember to every video begin with a couple of shout-outs, just to try to help build the community. And what I decided to start doing is actually keeping a list of those shout-outs so that I remember from week to week who I've already shouted out. And I'm focusing on guys that have under, I forgot to refill my lighter again. I'm focusing on guys that have under 100 subs. And I just started keeping track, so I know if you guys got in touch with me and said, hey, I just started making videos. Hopefully I got you. But if I don't, please feel free to get back in touch. I'd love to put you on the list, and now that I'm keeping a list, I can actually promise that I'll do something about it. So, first guy I'd like to bring your attention to today goes by the name Buckeye Piper. And Buckeye Piper, he's got 5 or 6 videos up. Very warm, welcoming guy. To me, the person's personality is much more important than what's going on in the video. And there are people that they start talking and I say, hey, this is a guy that I want to sit down with for a while. And then there's other guys that I might say, well, this guy's interesting. It then takes the content to pull me in. But occasionally you see these guys that just pull you in with their personality. And Buckeye Piper is that sort of guy. He's very, very down-to-earth, very easygoing. And his recent video, he recently did a video that he titled Hot Friday Takes, I think it was called, or something like that, just a few days ago, this past Friday. And in that he gave his impressions of Peter Stokkebye, Luxury Bullseye Flake. And he was much better at keeping his pipe lit than I am. And his impressions of that tobacco were just, perfectly in line with mine. I really enjoyed listening to him talk about it, and I think that he's going to be a great addition to the community, especially if he starts talking more about tobacco impressions, because the guy's got a good palate. The other guy I'd like to shout out is Jimmy Tabacchi. Jimmy Tabacchi, again, has relatively few videos, but good stuff, real good stuff. Serious, funny. His recent video, I think it was entitled "Food for Thought." He described the new breakthrough in neurology, and I highly recommend you go watch that, just for the information content. There's a joke in there. Go to Jimmy Tabacchi's page and watch the Food for Thought video, and you'll know almost immediately what I'm talking about. So I'll put links to both those guys down below. Buckeye Piper, Jimmy Tabacchi. Go check them out. Give them some love. Give them a sub, and make the community grow. So since we've last talked, there's been a couple of things that have happened. I did the pipe mortar premiere, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being able to interact with you guys while the video was premiering. It was fun. I made a mistake, and I didn't realize it until actually my friend Christian Bonapiper got in touch with me and said, you really should do a Q&A after the video. And I thought, that would have really made a lot of sense. Because you can't really talk during the video because you're watching the video, and it's hard for me to keep up with the chat and everything. But yeah, having a Q&A after the video would have been a really good idea. And I thought, so the video ended and I very quickly said, "Thank you everyone, have a good night," or something like that, because I thought YouTube was just going to cut it off when the video ended. But it seemed like the chat continued to work for a while, and I actually had to go, so I didn't stick around for too long to see how long it was active. But I might try that next time if I have a premiere-worthy video. And I'm not going to do it for every pipe restoration. So it's got to be something unique and different. But if I have that sort of thing, I will try to set it up so that after the premiere, we can stick around in the chat room, and I can answer questions, or you can tell me that I really should do something different, or whatever happens. But it was great. It was great fun. I think at one point we had 45 people, which surprised me. I was really expecting, I thought if somewhere between 5 and 10 showed up, I'd be happy. So I was really happy to get 45 viewers, and the videos continue to do well since then. So I'm generally happy about that. Pipe mortar itself, I really hope it takes off and people use it. I don't want to get anything for that. I just want to know if it works for you, because I'm excited. I think it's going to help a lot of folks and help save a lot of pipes. The other thing that happened is I kind of put up a Super Bowl video. That was a lot of fun. I hope you all saw the humor in that, and that I didn't get anyone too riled up. The comments were great. I got, I think it was 41 comments this morning, and of those 41, 7 of them were pro-Patriots. So, about roughly 1 in 6, 16, 17%, which probably is a good representation of the country right now. I mean, there's not a lot of Patriots fans outside of New England, and like I said in the video, I think that this is a time when, and it happened last year too, when you see a team that just keeps winning, eventually they start to get on the non-fans' nerves, and that happens anywhere. I mean, I remember when the Yankees were, you know what, I'm not going to get into this because I'm going to create all sorts of controversy here. We all love our teams, and that's what's important. So thanks to the Patriots fans for playing along. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and certainly as much as the Rams fans did. and it's going to be a game. You know, we'll see what happens. So I don't have big plans for this evening. I think we're going to probably get a pizza, and I know my wife's gotten some of those, you know, snack type oven jalapeno poppers or something like that. I don't know. And yeah, we'll watch the game, see how it goes. And you know, quite a few of you guys said I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to boycott it. I'm going to watch YouTube instead. I'm going to watch it at first, but you know, if it's not interesting, if it's going the way I'm afraid it might go, at halftime I'll turn it off. I'll join you and watch YouTube. It's just not important anymore. They, meaning the NFL, has broken football, and it's a shame. It started last year with all the controversies around the national anthem, and they just handled it very poorly. And it continued this year with the officiating, and boy, they really got to do something in the off season to recover, or it's just gonna go in the tank. But there's still money to be made, and you know, they'll continue to push on and follow those dollars. So you know, us fans, we just have to go along for the ride or look for entertainment other places. I am enjoying this bijou. It's give me another week or so, and I'll talk more about it. But it's one of these Virginia blends that's not like really high note dominant. It's got a lot of depth to it, and I like that. It's got some spice to it too. I don't know exactly what's in it. Sweet bright leaf and small leaf Catarini. Boy, I can barely see this print. You know what? We'll take care of that in a future video. Let me give you a quick shop update. So, got working on a lot of pipes, getting close to caught up. I think I've got 4, maybe 5 in line, and one that I think is coming. So, you know, I'd like that number to be about half of that. And this way, the wait time is not as much for guys when they send me a pipe, but it's coming. And this was a recent. So this is a really nice little Peterson. And the stem is broken, that's why I'm holding it like that. But you know, really nice, and I like the way Peterson does that. Silver on both the stem and the shank. That gets really nice. The tenon snapped off, so I extracted the tenon, and I made a nice new tenon. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, but you know, there's a draft hole that goes through there. There's the part that's corrugated a bit so that it'll catch the glue, and that goes into the stem. Pop that in. And then that should solve all our problems, and then you put the pipe back together and it looked like that. You can see that there's a gap up here and no gap down here. So the problem is that Peterson, and it is notoriously Peterson, drills. So the air hole, so the only way that you can do this job, the only way that you can drill the hole here that this replacement tenon is going to go into and have it line, well, hope to have it line up, is you have to reference that hole, that new hole off of something. And you know, this is always in a regular shape. I mean, even if your shank is round, it's not perfectly round. So you can't really like reference off the edge of the stem. You have to use the air hole, the airway. It's the only point of reference that you have when you're doing this. So what I do is I put a rod in there, you know, one of those drill rods that I showed you when I was talking about expanding the tenon. And I pick one that fits snugly, and then I mount this in a 4-jaw chuck, and use a dial indicator and move it around until when I spin it, there's no change in that dial indicator. So what that does is it gets the lathe perfectly centered on the airway. And then you go and you drill a hole. And then you make a new tenon, put it in, and 9 times out of 10, it looks great and you're done. The 10th time, and I always warn people about this, it is offset by probably close to 1/8 of an inch there. And that's because the way that these guys make pipes, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's just, it's a repair problem. It's not really a problem with the quality of the pipe or anything. They drill the pipe, they drill the stem, they drill the pipe, they put them together. The shank is unfinished, the stem isn't unfinished, and then they sand them together so that you get this perfectly flush surface between the stem and shank junction. And that works great, and it's a really obvious way to solve that problem. But if something happens and that just gets slightly offset, that translates to a shift in the concentricity of that draft hole. And while it's never a problem for the smoker, it's a huge problem for a guy trying to do a replacement of a tenon. So I've ordered some. Sorry, folks. My memory card filled up, and then the furnace came on, and it's one of those days. So I don't remember exactly where I was, but I think I told you that the problem with this is that they form the stem and the shank together, and if that's slightly off, then the airway is not concentric with those two, and this repair method doesn't work. Now there are some guys that will drill the hole oversized in the stem, and that's nice because then you can fill it with epoxy and move the tenon around and make it line up. So that always works, but the problem is then you've got a lot of epoxy and not so much, in this case, acrylic to acrylic, and I just think it's a weaker joint. And it probably will last, it probably will be fine, but I'm not comfortable doing it that way. I never have been. So I've searched for some yellow epoxy with a light swirl to it. It's going to be hard to match that exactly, but I'll get as close as I can, and I will make a new stem, put the silver adornment on it, and we'll see how it goes. I'll take some pictures of that and show you next week, or well, it's going to be more than next week because I have to wait for the acrylic, but I'll take some pictures and show you how it turns out. It's a fun project. I wish that it would have worked because it would have been just really nice to be able to get that original stem back on the pipe, but in this case it just isn't going to work. The trials and tribulations. At any rate, I've probably kept you long enough now. Let you all get off to enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl if that's your thing. If not, enjoy whatever you're doing. And I hope next week we can all come together and say that the best team won. So with that, friends, have a great week ahead, and until we speak again, I will look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Goodbye now.